Hi, welcome to this IMD. I'm Liam Oliff, Democratic and Electoral Services Specialist. Making the decision today will be Councillor Stephen Conway, Leader of the Council and Executive Member for Housing. And I'll pass over to Ruby, who is a Policy Officer in Economy and Housing, who'll be presenting the report.
Thank you, Liam. So the purpose of the consultation today is to approve the Wokingham Borough Council already interim position statement submitted on 5th of March to the government's consultation titled Awaab's Law on timescales for repairs in the social rented sectors. They have proposed 7 proposals in it, and I will go through all of them and talk about how council is either agreeing or proposing the different recommendations for the same. So first of them is the timescales for initial investigation of potential hazards within 14 days. And council agrees with the same. However, we have concerns around the funding constraints on the same. Then we have requirements to be placed upon landlords to provide written summaries of investigation findings within 48 hours of the investigation concluding. We think that it will be a very emerging pressure on the council, because we would need more administrative resources to ensure that we do this. So we need additional funding to ensure the feasibility and compliance for the same. Then the third point is timescales for beginning repairs within 7 days of the written summaries being issued or face legal penalty. We suggest more considerate approach if we have more complex issues to assess. Plus, there could be outside factors which could affect our action in response to that. So we would like to have more more like clarification on the same. Then there is timescales for completing repair work within a reasonable time period. We agree with the same, but again, we need more clarification on the word reasonable time period. Then there is a timescale for emergency repairs within 24 hours timelines. We think that it is a very tight red line. If there are more, we agree that there are emergency repairs and we need to be more considerate. But however, there could be these like emergency repairs uh, could require more resources that would obviously put more pressure on the council. And just in case if the social landlords are not able to fulfill it, it would be uh, it would not good either for the residents or for the council itself. Then there is a circumstance under which property should be temporarily decanted to provide residents to protect residents' health and safety. We approve of this point that we should provide alternative accommodation, but we have to look for the cost implications, because there is a huge pressure on the council to provide temporary accommodation at the moment. Then the last proposal is the requirement to be placed upon landlords to maintain adequate record keeping throughout the repair works, and we approve for the same. And with this, I conclude the summary.
Thank you very much, Ruby. Awaab's law of July 2023 establishes a contractual obligation on social landlords to meet requirements to be stipulated in secondary legislation. And the consultation relates to the timescales and processes appropriate for these new requirements. And as Ruby said, we are supportive of the government's ambitions, but have some very specific concerns which are reflected in our response. As often with government consultations, we note a lack of specificity and detail, and we also note the placing of new responsibilities without any commitment of additional government resources to fulfill those responsibilities. We're also concerned about the tightness of some of the timescales, especially in complex cases, which may require really quite considerable investigation. And this tightness could end up with effectively having to pay a lot more to carry out the work. So I thank Ruby for drafting the council's response, which I am happy to approve.
Great. sheet.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so subject to the 5-day calling period, this decision can be made official, and that concludes the meeting. Thanks very much, guys.